I've fallen off hard on this. This is probably the biggest nosedive of interest I've ever had in a board game ever. Today is going to be a super fun video. I'm going through my top 10 anticipated board game campaigns of 2023 from last year. So we're going to revisit it. We're going to see where I was right, where I was wrong, where it didn't even come out maybe. I haven't looked at this video. I didn't look to see what I did. I don't remember all of them. I'm sure Celestial's on there though. So we'll get to everything right now. Okay, so right off the bat, I gotta critique my own video here. First of all, I realized I was in a rental at the time, but dear Lord, that is a busy background. I'm not saying I have the best backgrounds. I kind of keep it kind of real here. And by that, I mean, I don't, like, it's not nice, okay? But that is messy. That's a lot. So hopefully a little bit of a better background now. And dear Lord, am I white there? What the heck kind of lighting system do I have going on here? Again, not the best lighting, but it's okay now. It's better than whatever the heck I was doing back then. I'm wearing Into the AM shirt, still am, of course. You guys know how it works, even the hoodie's Into the AM. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what I do here. So I'm going to have it on mute. I'm not going to I don't care what I'm saying. I'm sure I'm just saying some stupid junk there. Let's go ahead and skip through here. Oh, dear Lord, and Into the AM. Hey, guess what? There's a 10% discount code, and they're having like an 80% off sale, by the way. This is not a sponsored video yet. That'll probably be the next video, but that's funny that this one is. Anyway, I'm such a shill for them. They're amazing shirts, guys. Okay, so let's see why you should do this. Oh, this is important. So the reason I do this every year is because I feel like making a top 10 list is super important. You know, I'm going to pause. That's distracting. Because it makes you focus on what's important to you. So if you have a top 10, first of all, or a top whatever, like think of how much you're kind of willing to buy and like legitimately buy. Like how much am I willing to put down? Could I get these 10 games on there or whatever it is? It just kind of makes all the noise go away. All the things are like, yeah, it'd be nice, but if it's not your top 10, are you ever going to play it? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, that's number 15 on the list for this year. It's like, well, who has time to play their 15th highest game instead of the other 14 above it from that year? Do you know what I'm saying? So it helps you focus on that. And then if something does come up that you didn't know about, because there's always those, you'd be like, well, what would I give to put that in? In other words, what would I drop off this list? And if you would drop off anything, then it's your number 11, if nothing else, right? So I think it's a really good thing to do. I think you guys should do it. I do it every year, and I think that's great. Let me skip. Oh, look at these timestamps. All right, so number 10. Let's see what number 10 was. Number 10 was Maladum. Okay, so yeah, Maladum was really cool. I actually went and saw it and talked to them a little bit at Essen Spiel, and it looks amazing. It looks incredible in person. It is very brown. I'll always stand by that. It's a very brown and gray game. Like it is fantasy in the sense that they haven't figured out how color works yet. Like the world's in sepia instead of black and white at that time. Medieval ages were sepia, right? Even like the washes they put on them is all sepia, which is kind of funny. But looking at the terrain all built up, amazing, super immersive, and you can tell a lot of the detail a lot more in person than here. And another interesting thing is even all this is all like prototype. They actually are getting better and better quality than even what this is. Look at that door open there, just so cool. At the end of the day, board games are like physical things that I interact with and buy and purchase and set up, and so I want the physical part to be nice. So I'm always been kind of component. I prioritize that a lot because at the end of the day, that's the difference between me playing a video game, me playing a board game. Is I'm buying something physical, so I want to buy something nice, right? Not just rules. Rules are important, of course, as well. But this one's probably pretty solid. I like this one. I think this one's cool, and it came out really cool, so it was great. Let's see what's number 9. Number 9 is going to be The Elder Scrolls: Betrayal of the Second Era. I did not end up backing this one. I don't know. I mean, I think I still struggled with the art a little bit. So that was partially it. I'm trying to remember why else I didn't. Maybe there was something else at the time I believe I was backing at the same time. I think I'm typically backing like 1 to 2 campaigns at a time when there's like a slew of them like this. So I don't remember what was out at the time, but yeah, I didn't end up backing this. So obviously, and I did end up backing Maladum. So I backed my number 10. I did not back my number 9. So the art is actually, this is the best art I've seen from Chip Theory games. I typically do not like the art from Chip Theory games. This one's pretty good. Not too bad. Number 8. Quantum Shock. Oh gosh, I stopped even putting this on my list. I don't know if it's ever going to be a thing. If it is at this point, it's going to be such an old school style game compared to what we've played within the years that have passed since this has come out. It's kind of crazy. It looks super cool. It's made by a company that like does like mobile games and stuff, like the Game Forge or something like that. But they wanted to do this board game too. The miniatures look wow, it looks crazy. Though to an extent, the more I looked at it, the more it doesn't seem to necessarily follow a really strong theme in there. What I mean by that is like, okay, so you got like your regular person here, right? And then you got like these alien kind of guys a little bit, or even like this one. But then you have like this angel, and the angel just, I don't know, something about the angel never really sat right with me, if that makes sense. I don't know, it just doesn't seem to match the style of these as much. Now, granted, all these are kind of early, and this is obviously a different render than that and stuff. But it looked like a cool game. It sounded like a cool game. Maybe it is a cool game. And the map just ain't doing it for me either. It's like a Legend of Zelda. Like old school, right, where you'd go from screen to screen. Each one would be like a room that you go into. Again, we'll see. I suppose it just kind of. It's been too long. You can only hold the hype for so long, unless your name's Celestial, in which case I have hype for you forever. The Last of Us did not come out, but they did say, look at this, 2020 was when they posted that article. 2024, they've mentioned they're going to launch this Kickstarter in their financial reporting to like investors and shareholders and stuff like that. So yeah, they're definitely planning on this next year. They even we're also going to do, I think, God of War. I think it was both. I believe it was both. But, and maybe God of War's on here too. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if Kaman can do this. It's such a strong, like the crafting's big, right? The stealth is big, right? You get that little sense where you can hear them, the clickers and all that kind of stuff. Set pieces are big. Scenarios are big. Story's big. And I don't know if they can nail all of those down. I put Bloodborne on my fundraiser, which, by the way, I do have a fundraiser going on right now to help support the channel. That's also linked down below, of course. But I put that on there because, while I actually like the game, it's not perfect, but I like it. It takes up so much space because I got it all in, and it's literally 2 Kallax shelves, plus then a few oddities here and there, full of stuff, and it just doesn't warrant the space, if that makes sense. And I'd worry the same thing kind of happen here. Additionally, the setting of The Last of Us doesn't really do a lot for like miniature. A lot of the enemies are just gonna be like humans, and that's kind of hard to get super excited about because I always feel like I could proxy them with other minis I have. All right, let's see, what is the number 6? Ooh, Blood Oak Chapter 1. This is going to be super cool. My understanding is it's going to be coming out next year. If they are working on that. It looks super cool. Still super excited about it. Again, these minis are fantastic. This company actually, the Black Forge, their crown is actually what I'm giving away to people in the fundraiser. They have a crown for one of their minis that looks amazing. They're great sculptors. This mini is fantastic. Super, super cool. Excited for the board game. Final Fantasy VII, yeah, this still hasn't come out yet. It's a remake-specific version. They did show a lot more finally than this. Well, okay, they showed the cards, so it's like a card game, right? And I love card games, so I'm down for it. But then again, I also bought the Final Fantasy like trading card game, and we still haven't played that one either. So we'll see. We'll see. This is number 5. I think I was expecting a lot more than the card game. It looks like we're getting there. That would not be number 5. Number 4 has Dante. Yeah, no, Dante is a lot of fun. And now that I've actually played it and seen people play it, I think, it's high up there. I'm excited for Dante. It's going to be amazing. All right, number 3. Oof. Okay, yeah, this was a mistake. Number 3 was Batman Escape from Arkham Asylum. The campaign did come out, so that one was legit. Obviously, Dante didn't. It was going to. Dante moved to a late, like Q1. I don't remember the exact date. Is it early February or late January? I don't know. It's moved a few times now in discussions with them. But either way, it's coming up here real soon. They wanted to make sure Apocalypse delivered, of course. Which I just did a review out for Chronicles of Drugar Apocalypse, so feel free to check that out if you want to. It's on the channel. A Batman Escape from Arkham Asylum. I was super excited for this because it sounded like a very fun idea to play as the villains, to have Batman hunting you. That alone, just that idea, that concept sounds super cool. Super cool. I should have paid more attention to night games. Not only is the communication super lackluster, and I did end up backing it quite a bit too, not everything, but the renders look amazing, and their night models Batman game, or not even Batman game, but like their DC game, the DC miniature game, amazing minis. However, since then, I have seen the minis for their Harry Potter to Catch a Snitch game that they did, and those minis look terrible. Terrible. These are not obviously the resin minis, but they are not even good PVC minis. It does look like garbage. So I'm really kind of bummed. I really wanted a lot of these minis, and obviously I still like the idea of the game. I want to play the game. But like I said at the start with Maladum, like at the end of the day, I spent hundreds of dollars on this game, not because of its mechanics. I mean, that's part of it, of course, but because I wanted to use those mechanics in a beautiful, amazing DC Batman game, right? That just sounds cool. And I'm not sure that's what it's going to be, which is kind of a bummer, because otherwise, like I said, the minis look amazing. And I'll even like this idea. I mean, it's kind of like a Nemesis style thing for Arkham Asylum, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. Okay, what's number 2? Senkokushin. Well, instead of it launching like everybody planned, and they had, I mean, I don't even know what happened. It's so weird. Okay, so I've fallen off the Senkokushin wagon a fair amount, which is a huge bummer. It's just not the like they were releasing stuff like this moth boss thing. It looked incredible. Is that all I show? Why don't we just sit there on that? I should have gotten some more images than just one image of the moth. The moth thing is pretty cool. But they had stuff like this, and it just looked wild, it looked crazy, and they were hyping it. They had these big, long updates with all of this game detail in it, and it was looking awesome. Definitely, easily a number 2. I was pumped for it. Everybody was pumped for this. Thousands of people were super excited for this. And then we get this update that's like, yeah, this adds like stress to my life. So how about we don't do the board game stuff yet? Granted, there's a lot to do for the board game, and I think they kind of jumped the gun a little bit. As much as they were releasing, there's obviously a lot more to making a board game than that. A lot of math, a lot of crunching numbers, a lot of like hashing out ideas and seeing what works. I mean, there's a lot involved. I get it. So they were probably too far out where it was going to be kind of like a Kingdom Death Monster thing, where they were going to like release it and then sit on it for like forever. As they like kept developing it, and that certainly I think people would have been okay with that actually. In today's market, I'm glad they didn't, right? But like I think that's where they were headed, and so I get that. But it does suck that they like hyped it up so much and then lost, because again, it's so hard to keep that hype. It's so hard to build hype a second time. Senkokushin, when it does come, it's going to be old news at this point, right? And so like I don't know. It's possible that they could make it work, but it's harder now than what it would have been at the time. But then since then, they stopped making cool stuff like this. Like they used to do amazing miniatures like this. Like I was just blown away by like the Death Knight guy and the suit of armor with like smoke spirits and stuff like it was. They just had cool stuff. The like Cerberus dog wolf thing going on. It was like Okami, like the video game. Like it looked so cool. They had so many interesting things, and now they just do like mostly naked chick minis that they released to like weebs online, I guess. I don't know. I mean, they essentially are just doing like Kingdom Death Monster pinups, but minus the interesting parts of Kingdom Death Monster. It's literally just like girls in bikinis. Like I don't understand how that's unique or interesting or different or enthralling or I don't get it. I don't get it's so like they became basic. I don't understand how a company goes from making stuff like this that I'm just like all about to chicks in bikinis, woohoo. Like I don't get it. Maybe if I was 14, maybe then, but even then I don't know if I would spend I'm obviously not 14, premium money for something that's not interesting. Like at least with Kingdom Death Monster, every mini they make is just so unique to their style. And I don't get that from the Senkokushin stuff lately. I've fallen off hard on this. This is probably the biggest nosedive of interest I've ever had in a board game ever. Because like I said, number 2, this was up there. In fact, this was like so close to number 1. This was like, I mean, look at that. Anyway, maybe it'll come back someday and be cool. Celestial. Okay, so I don't know if this counts or not. I mean, everybody knew it was Celestial, right? Okay, so Dimension Games, I don't get it. I don't get it. I think part of it's because they're based in China. And it's just a different culture that I don't fully understand. I guess, because I don't understand why you do this. So Celestial had been out for like a long time, right? Like it had been teased for a while. It had been in development for a while over in China. That team was doing it. They were incorporating Chinese mythology. Essentially meets Game of Thrones meets like sci-fi stuff. Like, it was crazy. It's such a cool, unique design. Again, like Kingdom of the Monster, like everything they do is unique, is so their style. I don't have any other minis like it. I've never seen another world like it. It is amazing. It's awesome. I love it. I love it. And the gameplay seems very cool. It's like an RTS board game. Again, love pretty much everything about it. And they've been developing this, but they had been holding off on it while they worked on Dawn of Madness, which they were like super far behind. Now, they had delivered Twisted Fables twice and did just fine. In fact, it was a great game. I love Twisted Fables. Fantastic game. They've done Deep Madness 2 times, maybe even 3 times. So they've delivered quite a bit, but Dawn of Madness was a sore spot. And when you have a bad campaign like that, unless your name is Kamana and it's Trudvang Legends, it can really bite you. Right? But somehow they got away with it because of how many other they had developed. But otherwise, if you just sit on a campaign, like Archon had it famously with Chronicle X, right? Like, you just get this, like, you can't progress because everybody's upset about this one, so you can't go. And I get it, that's hard, right? That's difficult. But they, like, randomly, without any hype, without any warning, without even telling me, the hypiest hype man of this game on YouTube, and they didn't even mention this to me, that they were even launching this campaign. It comes out of nowhere. They don't have any pictures of their painted minis. They have some of the best painters in the world painting their minis, like Golden Demon winners, right? Like Crystal Brush winners, like whatever trophy, award, like amazing stuff they've done. And they posted 0 pictures of it. They didn't even post videos of like me showing off the minis, showing that it's like, it was just a whole bunch of renders and art and nothing. It was terrible. It was one of the worst campaigns I've ever seen. So technically, yes, Celestial launched in 2023, and I'm sad that it did, which is weird because it's my number 1, but not like that. It was so bad. I don't understand why you would do that. You would sit on it for so long, and then sit on it again, but like ruin it. And again, now you gotta hype up everybody again. Now you gotta do all this stuff again. Now everybody's gonna like, well, why did you do the first? It's a terrible first impression, and I worry that it's like killed the prospect of the game, especially if the campaign page ends up looking like that. Like, I would love to take a stab at doing better of a campaign page than that. My number 1 and number 2 are rough, guys. I'm like all about like these other ones, and then 1 and 2. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm doing something wrong. I should like Euro games or something more. Like, that's easy. Like, oh, look, Tickets to Ride number 47. Let's do that one. Or like, let's do some like accounting with like sheep bartering or something. I don't know. Something like that sounds awesome. Let's play some workers. Because those games actually deliver and are made. And then I get like these pie in the sky, Senkokushin and Celestial stuff, and it doesn't come out. I get all hyped for nothing. What do you guys think? I didn't mean to end on a negative note, but I forgot that was my number 1, number 2, and I didn't think it through. I'm like, well, I mean, that's my honest reaction, I guess. That's as live as you guys are getting. May as well have been a live stream, because I'm just going to edit this and send it to you, and you guys are going to see it like this. So, I still want Celestial. I would love Senkokushin if it's ever actually ends up being a thing, but the problem is, the money, just like Kingdom of the Monster, right? The money isn't in Gambler's Chest, right? Like, I've been building Gambler's Chest for like forever because there's so many freaking minis. Though I'm like 2/3 done, I think. I think I'm pretty close to being done. But like that's not printing profit, like all the like miniature sales. So once you start down that kind of business model, like that's a different business model, right? Like most businesses would then like almost have that as like different sections, right? Like, oh, that's our miniature arm, you know, for like custom order stuff, and then here's our board game arm for this, and like have it be totally separate. And it's like one of those things where like, well, we like doing the board games and stuff, but that's not really the money maker. Instead, it's like this, right? It's kind of like like printers and ink or something like that. Like, yeah, you can make printers, but you don't make money selling printers. You make money selling ink. It's those small little ink sales constantly that do it. Same with the miniatures. Like you get the big board game and it's like whatever, but you start selling those minis and you start getting, these like super nerds like buy them and all that stuff. And oh man, you're like constantly getting in income. You're going to focus on this thing that's actively putting food on your table versus something that might eventually someday do it if you do this monolithic huge task thing. Like, why would you do that? So will it ever get made? I don't know. Will Celestial ever recover from the terrible launch? I don't know. You guys let me know. Yeah, that's revisiting my top 10 for 2023. 2023 was rough, guys. My goodness. Dear Lord. Hopefully 2024 is better. I guess we will see. Guys, have a wonderful rest of the day. Have a wonderful rest of the year. I'll talk to you guys again very, very soon. Take care. Bye, guys.